I can't believe it's already the middle of September 2024. Well, it's time for another market update. And today we're going to expand our search just a little bit and we're going to give you coverage for the entire Sarasota Manatee MLS area. Then we're going to hone it down into the Lakewood Ranch area and also for the zip codes 34202 and 34211. So if that's of interest, stick around. Hello, it's MarkBoehmig, Michael Saunders and Company. In this channel, Living in Lakewood Ranch, we cover all the areas around Lakewood Ranch, from Bradenton to Sarasota and Siesta Key up to Anna Maria Island. So for those of you that are familiar with the channel, you know every month we go in and we do a market update. Well, today we're going to add a little bit of extra information because I'm finding that what happens in the overall market as far as Florida's Gulf Coast is pretty much what's happening here in the drilled down segment of Lakewood Ranch. So let's get into it and let me show you what I have to share with you today. So what we're going to start with today is the overall Sarasota and Manatee County areas coverage for our local MLS. So this is for everything up through August of 2024. And as you can see how many listings we had here, 65,947, and that was up slightly from July, and then it was up quite a bit from a year ago in August of 23, we had 44,200. So we've had a 49% increase just in the number of active listings that are on the market. Now, how many new listings came on? Well, we had an extra 20,916 that came on during that time frame. Pending sales was down slightly at 16,410, and then sold was down 2% at 15,000 for the total number of closed sales in August of 2024 for the MLS search area. So our days on market is remaining a little bit higher than what we've been accustomed to seeing, especially since the pandemic, at 57 days on market. And then our month of inventory is at 4.4%. But if we drill this down a little bit, this is the Lakewood Ranch area that I usually go in and do a map of for the Lakewood Ranch area, so that when I pull the statistics, I'm getting a pretty good accurate reading of what is in the Lakewood Ranch area. So our active listings, and this does not include new construction, this is only resales. We had a total of 278 that were active during the month. Then we had 72 that went pending, and then 139 actually closed, and the average close price was $821,850. Next, this is going to be for zip codes 34202 and for 34211, and it does include new construction. Now, as you know, in our area, we have quite a bit of new construction going on. We have a new Del Webb, we have a new Lennar community, we have a new Star Farms community coming on. Now, those have not really opened up with the sales yet, but they're coming on shortly. So we have a lot of new construction coming in. So we had a total of 533 that were on the market. 102 of those went pending, and we had a total of 133 that closed. So our closed sales and our pending sales are pretty much average. We're not seeing a huge increase or decrease in those numbers. This right here tells you that what our percentage of change is, and I think that that's probably going to be a little bit hard to read, but you get the idea of how we're on a slight decline as far as the number of closed sales. I think a lot of this still has to do with the interest rates, but we're going to address that here in just a few minutes. Average price per square foot sold. Well, we were at $315 in those two zip codes over the last month, down slightly from $317 the month prior to that. So what about the price that are for listings, for sales, and the medium sold price? So the average list price was $1,180,000. The average sold price was $764,000, and the median price, that one that fell in the middle, was $655. How long is it taking to sell a house here in this market in the 34202 and 34211? Well, it looks like it's an average of 67 days before the house goes under contract. And this is the sell price to the original list price was at 93%. Now, that's going to show us that we were up slightly on the average Sold price to list price ratio, it was 93 the month before, but 92 prior to that. And then we also were down just a little bit on our days on market. How much inventory do we have? Well, in those two zip codes, we're at about 4 months supply. So when you're between about 3 and 6, that's going to be a neutral market. So right now we are at a neutral market for the inventory that we have here in Lakewood Ranch. Interest rates. I find it very interesting that the interest rate is at 6.2%. Now, earlier this year, we were at 7%, and the feds haven't had a rate cut. So, how did it get from 7 down to 6.2? Well, it's the anticipation. It's the money that banks loan each other, and they feel like the Fed is going to have a decrease. So, they've already gotten very busy and started lowering the rates of what they can borrow money from each other for. So we think that what will happen is that when the Fed does announce a rate, we'll probably be down under the 6% mark, probably somewhere around 5.9, 5.85, but will be interesting to see where that ends up. And I think that that's going to spur on a lot of activity. Now, one other thing that I wanted to offer to you is that we have a new buyer's checklist. So this is a buyer's guide. So if you're thinking about coming to the Lakewood Ranch area and you're looking for a home here in the area, I'm going to put a link to this buyer's guide down in the description below, along with the copy of this month's market report so that you can have access to that. So I hope you found this video helpful in learning a little bit more about what's going on here in the market activity for our Lakewood Ranch area. And like I said, if you do find yourself coming to the area, I'd be more than happy to help you find a property that would suit your needs. And if you currently live here in the Lakewood Ranch area, I'd be honored to talk to you about listing your home for sale in today's market. Mark Boehmig, Michael Saunders and Company.